Hey, what's going on, everybody? George Wright III here. Hey, listen, I am excited because today we're going to be posting an episode. It's going to be actually the 12th part of a 12-part series that we've been doing on Mondays for the 12 Prosperity Pillars. And this one is, I Visualize and Manifest My Life. And I really love this topic because I think so many of us are in that mode right now where we're getting ready to plan for the end of the year. And so I did an episode back in January on how to create the vision of your life. And it was really detailed and it had a lot of, strategies and points in it. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you a replay of that episode today, but I hope you'll check it out. And if you're listening to the podcast now, I hope you'll take some serious notes. I think this is something that can help you to really structure yourself to get going prior to the end of the year so you can punch through the first of the year and make 2022 your best year ever. Look forward to talking to you soon. Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope you got your week off to a good start. You were able to get up and get going, and you're already off to the races. If you haven't, well, good news. You can start right now. So I appreciate you joining me this morning. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about creating your ultimate vision for your life. But let's start with the quote of the day from the Daily Mastermind mobile app. The quote of the day today is, "You create the story of your life," by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'll tell you what, I love that quote because just ironically enough, it goes with the thoughts I wanted to share with you today, because today I want to talk to you about your vision. Now, I know you're wondering why I talk so much about vision and creating and clarifying the vision in your life, but your best life always starts with vision. It's always going to be an ongoing process. It's not just a one-time event, and that's why I continue to bring it up. And if you're like me, you probably need more clarity on it anyway, and it will always change and adapt and grow. So I want to share some thoughts with you today on vision. And one of the reasons it came up for me is I came across a great article on a website that I follow, Lifehack. It's lifehack.org. It's a great website for referencing thoughts and, lifestyle ideas and strategies. And so I would recommend it to you highly. But on this particular episode, I'd like you to maybe take a second if you're driving or running or something like that. And I'd like you to just take a few notes. Open up a memo on your phone, take a few notes, and then what I'd like you to do afterwards is sit down and execute on some of the ideas and things we're going to talk about, because I want to give you some memory joggers and some questions and things that you can use to create your best life. So I think this episode will be good for you, not just to remind you and inspire and motivate you to create your life, but it'll actually give you some actionable things to create your best vision. So how do you create, a vision for your life? Look, the key here, and I want to walk you through some steps and things that'll help you to do that. But before I start, the key here is to think about your vision as the compass for your life. You've got to spend time consistently mapping out your life, because if you don't, you're not going to get the direction you want to be. So clarity is going to come over time. It's going to come as your life changes and as your goals and dreams and aspirations change as well. So it's an ongoing process. It's not just something you write down and follow. So let's talk for just a second about why you need a vision. And I think it's very, very important for you to understand and buy into the concept that without direction, without a vision, you're not going to end up where you want to be. And that vision is going to be the starting step in creating all the happiness and fulfillment that you want in your life. In addition to that, experts have agreed that you will accomplish more in life if you have a vision, and your satisfaction levels, your personal happiness, and things like that will also increase. Think about that for a minute. Just having a clear vision can help you to have a happier, more fulfilling life because you have direction. I think all of us sometimes feel like if we can get direction, we won't feel so lost or so confused. And if you don't create that vision, if you don't actually write it down, if you don't actually clarify it, the bottom line is you're going to be living someone else's vision, and your life is not going to be going the direction that you want it to be. So it's very, very important that you focus on this. So how do you create your life's vision? Well, understand it's going to take some time. Be patient, but it's going to also take consistency. because you have to continue to work on clarifying and building and manifesting your vision. This is a very, very important step. So many of us just get jumping into what we're doing in life with relationships, business, or whatever it is. Your vision's going to require you writing things down. It's going to require you to put some reflective thought into it. And it's going to require you to sometimes just sit and visualize mentally in your mind or directly with your subconscious what you're trying to accomplish. And the key to this is that you need to create a real vivid, clear, and distinct, purposeful vision. Okay. Now it's not going to be clear all at once. It's not going to come right up front. Sometimes it's difficult for me even to sit down and visualize what I want. But the more you do it, just like anything else, the easier, the simpler, and the clearer it gets. So time and consistency will help you to do that. So I want you to do this. I want you to start with this very simple question. Even if you've already created some of your vision, I want you to start and re-ask this question. What do you want? Now that's a pretty simple question, right? But it's not really. Think about it. What do you want in your life? I ask people this question all the time. What do they want? And the answers, they close their eyes, they think about it. Sometimes they say a few things, but the more they talk about it, the more it changes, right? Why is that? Why is it that most people don't know exactly what they want? Because they don't actually sit down and make it happen. And, I love that quote that says, a life of fulfillment doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And so it's helpful to ask questions. It's helpful to spend dedicated time. Now, maybe it's time building your vision. Maybe it's time just reflecting on your vision. But either way, that's a very critical daily ritual I highly recommend that you use. And the best way to really clarify and crystallize what you want is to ask yourself questions, because your thoughts come from questions. And you want to ask yourself questions in your personal life, professional life, relationships, finances, lifestyle, all of those types of things. And I'm going to give you a few tips here out of the article that I read. The tips are things like, ask yourself, why do you want certain things? Not just what do you want, but why do you want them? That'll help you to drill down on your emotions and focus on what you want, not what you don't want. See, a lot of people, when I say, what do you want in life? They're like, well, I don't want to be stressed and I don't want to have money problems. And don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive of what you want to create. That's far more powerful. And then I also want you to dream a little. Don't be afraid to reach for the stars. Sometimes this helps by having a vision board, maybe writing in your journal, open up a notebook on your phone. You might collect photos of things that you want to accomplish or have, or things you want to build in your life. So let me give you a few questions. I pulled some questions out of that article I was referencing, things that will just get you thinking. And so you can come back to this and listen to it again and write these down when you have a moment, unless you're doing it right now. And they're questions like this. What really matters to you in life? Not what should matter, what does matter? What do you value? What would you like to have more of in your life? What would you like to have more of in your life? And set aside money for a minute. What do you want in your career? Putting the money aside, what do you want in your career or your business or your professional life? What are your secret passions and dreams? What are the things that maybe you've even given up on, but the things you really truly wanted in life? What would bring you more joy and happiness? What are some of the things in your life that have brought you the most happiness? What do you want your relationships to be like? What qualities would you like to develop personally? What are your values? What issues do you really care about? What are the things that really get you passionate? What are your talents? What is special about you? What's your unique talent, your thing that you're excellent and passionate about that you want to develop? What would you like to accomplish? And here's a great question. What legacy would you like to leave behind? Those are questions we don't generally ask ourselves ongoing, but I think they'll be very, very helpful for you. But most importantly, I go back to a question I ask you all the time, and that is, what do you want your life to be like? What do you want your life to be like? So that leads me to kind of another section I want to give you some ideas on when creating your vision, and that is, what would your best life look like? Now, I love this exercise of describing, what your best life would look like, because sometimes it's a little hard to just create and come up with ideas. But when you're trying to analyze, for example, what would the perfect day look like for you? Break it down in detail. What would you do when you get up? What would it be like during the day? What I want you to do is I want you to think about what your life would be like 5 or 10 or 20 years from now, visualizing is going to be a real key to helping to manifest things in your life. So here are some questions. Here's a few questions that you can kind of ask yourself to help build out what your best life would look like. Let's see. What would you have accomplished during the day? What would your day consist of? Would you wake up early? Would you sleep in? Would you work out in the morning? Would you have a personal trainer? Would you go get a massage? What is it that you would do? How would you feel about yourself? What kind of people do you see in your life? And how do you feel about them? The key to visualizing a lot of times is creating that emotional connection, the feeling. So what does your ideal, schedule look like? Where are you? Where do you live? What type of things specifically, city, state, you're an apartment, a house? Are you in a condo? Are you living on the beach? What would you be doing? Are you with another person or a group of people, or are you by yourself? How are you dressed? What kind of car do you drive? What's your state of mind? Are you happy, sad, content? What is it that day looks like to you? What does your physical attributes look like? How are you health-wise? How do you feel about that? Does your best life make you smile? Can you see yourself happy? Can you see yourself fulfilled? These are the questions that if you start asking yourself will help you to really clarify and crystallize what you want. And it's so important for you to create that clarity. And if it's hard for you to do, then ask yourself these questions, okay? So I want you to take some time and I want you to sit down and I want you to write out answers to these types of questions. And that'll help you to build the building blocks of creating your vision and your blueprint and your life you want to do. And reflecting on that and dedicating a little time is very, very important. You're worth it. But listen to me, you're worth it, but you only deserve it if you're willing to work for it. So be deserving of your best life, not just willing to be having your best life, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm sure many of you have read the book, or at least heard of the book, Think and Grow Rich, right? It's one of the best-selling books of all time, 100 million copies over the last 80 years. But there was an interesting thought I had the other day, and I want to clarify this for you. See, whether you've read the book or not, it might be helpful for you to remember that the title says, Think and Grow Rich. Meaning, thinking is a requirement of success and happiness. Thinking is going to be required. You've got to spend some time. So don't wait for your future to be created. Take responsibility and create your future yourself. Be responsible for taking some time every day. It's never too late to start living that life you're meant to live. Don't think that way. The bottom line is you can do it. You can do anything you want to in life, but you have to be willing to do the work. So I want you to spend some time and really dig into your vision and start creating time to create and visualize your life. This is something I'm going to hammer over and over and over until you continue to clarify your vision. So that's my message for today. I hope that's something that will really push you to the next level of creating the ideal vision for your life. And I look forward to talking with you a little bit more. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind. Let me know if there's anything in particular that I can do to help you to create your vision. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram at the Daily Mastermind, or you could send me an email. I'll put it in the show notes to george@g3worldwide.com. I'd love to hear from you. Love to get you some feedback, some help and resources that will help you take your life to the next level. Once again, this has been the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III. I'm your host. I look forward to talking with you more. Have a great day.